Most people treat number 7 like dead Bible space. It's long, it's repetitive, it feels like the same thing over and over. 12 leaders, 12 offerings, 12 days, the same list repeated almost word for word. And because of that, most people either skim it or skip it. They think that nothing's happening. And that's the mistake. Because number 7 isn't filler or a filler text, it's one of the clearest covenant governance chapters in Torah. And once you see what it's actually doing, the repetition stops looking pointless and starts looking deliberate. And that's the point. This chapter isn't bad writing, this chapter is architecture. So let's walk it. So most people see this. The tabernacle has been set up, leaders bring offerings, the same list repeats 12 times, and the chapter drags. That's the surface. But if that's all this chapter is, then the obvious question is, why would Scripture spend an entire chapter repeating the same thing over and over again? Why not summarize it once and move on? Why say it 12 times? And that's where the architecture starts to help. Because the repetition isn't an accident, the repetition is the point. So let's walk it through the 7-layer architecture, beginning with layer 1, the temple pattern. So the chapter opens with the day Moses finished setting up the tabernacle. That matters because this isn't generic giving, this isn't random tribal generosity. This is happening at the inauguration of sacred space. The tabernacle has been anointed. The altar has been anointed. The covenant center is now standing in the middle of the camp. That means the whole chapter is happening in temple logic. The people aren't just bringing gifts, they're presenting themselves through their rulers before sacred space that has just been established. So right away, the chapter isn't dead repetition, it's covenant space coming online. That's why the offerings matter. That's why the altar matters, and that's why this chapter exists where it does. This is the installation of ordered covenant life around the newly established dwelling place of Yahuwah. Now, sacred time, layer 2, the Modim layer. This chapter sits at an activation point. The sanctuary has been set up, the altar has been anointed, the order is beginning. That means this isn't a random time event, it's a covenant beginning event. The system isn't just built, it's being activated. And that matters because covenant time and covenant space always work together. So the chapter isn't just saying, here are some gifts. It's saying the tabernacle has been established and now the tribes must formally present themselves in ordered sequence before the newly functioning covenant center. This is inauguration logic. It's activation logic and beginning logic. Now, the legal side, layer 3, the Sinai covenant layer. This isn't a lawsuit phase. This is establishment or an establishment phase. And that matters because Sinai doesn't only govern judgment, it governs covenant order itself. Number 7 isn't breach, warning, or exile. It's covenant order being publicly installed. The leaders aren't improvising. They're presenting in a fixed, structured, recognized way. That's legal order before the covenant authority. And that's why the sameness matters. No tribe gets to freelance. No tribe gets to bring a different standard. No tribe gets to elevate itself. And no tribe gets to diminish itself. Everything's exact. Why? Because covenant order is being installed before Yahuwah. This isn't about creativity. It's about recognized structure. Now the Eden layer, layer 4, the Eden ark. Eden is ordered life under the presence of Yahuwah. Genesis begins with ordered space, ordered life, and ordered function. Number 7 isn't Eden restored in full, but it's absolutely movement toward ordered covenant life centered around Yahuwah's dwelling in the midst of his people. And that matters because the camp is being structured around sacred presence. The people aren't scattered randomly. The center is fixed, approach is ordered, and representation is ordered. So this chapter belongs to the side of the ark moving toward order, not away from it. This isn't exile. This isn't a fracture. This is ordered covenant arrangement around the dwelling. And that's why the chapter feels so structured. It's a creation order type movement inside covenant history. Now, layer 5, the Jubilee pattern. So this isn't the strongest Jubilee chapter, so I won't force it harder than the text can carry, but there's still a clear restoration order principle here. Each tribe stands, each tribe presents, and each tribe is counted in its proper place before Yahuwah. That matters because covenant order isn't being monopolized by one tribe's pride. The presentation is distributed, shared, recognized, and structured. So while this isn't a full Jubilee release chapter, it does reflect covenant ordering that later Jubilee logic protects. Rightful standing, recognized inheritance structure, and ordered placement under Yahuwah's government. That keeps this layer lighter here, but it doesn't erase it. Now, layer 6, pulse mathematics. This is where the chapter becomes undeniable. If you want one of the cleanest pulse 12 chapters in the whole Bible, this is it. 12 leaders, 12 days, 12 offerings, 12 tribes represented in exact order. This chapter is 12, not symbolically stretched, not maybe, and not by inference only. The structure of the chapter itself is generated by 12. And in the framework, 12 is covenant governance. It's ordered authority under Yahuwah. It's recognized representative structure. And that's exactly what this chapter is doing. And here's the best part. The repetition isn't a problem to explain away. The repetition is the governance logic. Every tribe must appear. Every tribe must present. And every tribe must stand equally before Yahuwah's authority. No tribe gets a shortcut. No tribe gets less. No tribe gets more. And no tribe gets different terms. That's the architecture. The repetition is how the chapter establishes equal covenant standing of the 12 governance units before Yahuwah. And that's why Scripture repeats it 12 times instead of summarizing it once. Because summarizing it once would destroy the point. The point is that each tribe presents equally before the covenant authority. And that's not wasted space, that's deliberate structure. Now, let's move to layer 7, the axis. So the primary axis here is axis 4, Kingdom of Yahuwah. Why? Because this is governance. These aren't random individuals bringing personal devotion offerings. These are tribal heads, princes, recognized leaders, and governmental representatives of the tribes. They're presenting before the sanctuary on behalf of the people. That's covenant governance. And again, the exact repetition proves it. This isn't personality. This is office. This is structure. This is government presenting itself in ordered submission before Yahuwah. So Axis 4 is the cleanest call. You could also see Axis 2 in the standardized obedience, but Axis 4 governs the chapter because the whole thing is about ordered rule under divine authority. So what the chapter is actually doing now, let's go over that. So number 7 isn't just pointless repetition. It's the installation of covenant governance before sacred space. So let's run through each layer again one more time really quickly. The temple layer. So the tabernacle and the altar have been set up and anointed, and sacred space is now functioning. The Modim layer. So this is the inauguration point and a beginning and activation moment in covenant order. The Sinai layer. This is covenant establishment, not crisis, with legal precision and recognized order. Eden, the people are being structured around the dwelling in ordered life under presence. Jubilee, each tribe stands in rightful recognized position under covenant structure. Pulse 12 dominates the entire chapter as governance architecture. The Axis 4 rules because this is tribal government presenting itself before Yahuwah. And once you see that, the repetition stops being annoying. It becomes the whole point. The chapter repeats because every tribe must stand equally before the covenant center. Every leader must present. Every tribe must be visibly and individually established in the same terms before Yahuwah. And that's why this chapter exists in this form. And that's why people miss it, because if you don't have the architecture, it just looks boring. But once you understand the architecture, number 7 becomes one of the clearest examples in Torah that Scripture isn't wasting words. It's building structure. So no, number 7 isn't a filler chapter. It's a governance installation chapter. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. And if you'd like to learn more, you can go to school.com/undeniable truths.